Nah, you know what? I've had enough. I debated doing it. I was like, AOC, don't be messy. But nah, bruh, I got to do it, bruh. It is time for me to finally start to stomp out one of, if not the worst reporter in the entire DFW area for the Dallas Cowboys, bruh. We're not about to do this, bro. Clarence Hill is such an agent of chaos. He's such an op. He's such an old, dusty, crusty, self-serving ass is now trying to disparage a Kenny Clark. He's now trying to make Kenny Clark look bad so that he could try to make Jerry Jones look even worse, bruh. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. There's nothing worse than a hypocritical black man that loves to cry wolf and talk about racism and injustice when he himself is showing the exact type of things. Let's get right into it because Jerry Jones spoke to 105.3 The Fan today. No, this entire episode ain't about to be about crusty, dusty-ass Clarence Hill, but a lot of it is because I'm over it, y'all. Let's get it, man. Trades, defensive players, confidence in Eberflus, and Clarence Hill being a fake version of Malcolm X. Let's get right into it. Man, shut your up. All right, so this right here is kind of what's launching me off right here. This is what's pissing me off. Clarence Hill tweeted earlier, it's unfair to Kenny Clark that Jerry Jones is painting him as Reggie White and Ndamukong Suh. Now, you may wonder, how is Jerry Jones painting him as Reggie White and Ndamukong Suh? It's because of this quote. He said, right now, we've gotten the money's worth to have Kenny Clark on this team. I'm proud that we got him. He's probably first or second on grading on our team on defense. And then Clarence Hill, weird ass, gonna post this at the bottom. Remember, this was the dude that literally tried to drag the entire organization through the mud and tried to encourage the fans to essentially form a mutiny against the Dallas Cowboys organization on behalf of Micah Parsons, bruh. Do not forget, Clarence Hill was one of the main people trying to turn the entire fan base against the Cowboys for Micah Parsons, okay? Now he puts Clark was part of a unit that allowed 216 yards on the ground to the Carolina Panthers. Clarence Hill, you idiot. Did you not hear Jerry say that he's graded as first or second on our team on defense? Have you seen the rest of the defense? Do you realize that the comparison was not across the league? The comparison was on our defense. And what Jerry said ain't far off base. Kenny Clark has consistently been one of our better, if not our best defensive player, to the tune that he's actually, I think, top 3 or 4 on our team on sacks at the defensive tackle position, at the nose tackle position. Are you serious, Clarence Hill? See, this is the type of stuff I am not going to settle for, bruh. We are not going to continue to allow these agents of chaos, bro, these insurgents into our community to cause discourse and confusion and essentially peddle panic to the general public, bro. This is fear porn. That's what this is fear porn, okay? And we're not about to let Clarence Hill continue to do this, bro. We lost a couple of games. We lost a game. Okay, guess what? The Commanders lost, the Eagles lost to the Giants, who are in last place in our division. Guess where that leaves us? Exactly where we were at the start of last week, bruh. So we didn't lose any ground. We didn't gain any ground. So those of y'all out there that's going absolutely ballistic, shut y'all bitch asses up, bro. It's not that bad. It could be worse. The Commanders and Eagles could have won, which would have put us in a much worse situation. And though, we didn't win and we didn't take advantage of a week where we could have made some ground up in the standings. So that makes it even worse. No, it don't. No, it don't. It only make it worse because your goofy ass choose to look at the negative side of a coin that literally has a positive and a negative side. You completely ignore the positive that, hey, other teams lost, so this week was kind of a wash at this point. And then you want to lean on the negative. And then people like Clarence Hill, bruh, this is what pisses me off. It's unfair to Kenny Clark that Jerry Jones is painting him as Reggie White and Ndamukong Suh. Now, in a vacuum, that comment looks harmless. But when you put it with all the other narratives, all the other forced storylines and the way that Clarence Hill has framed all of these 4 storylines about the Cowboys over the last couple of seasons, most specifically. When you put all that together, bruh, that's another one of those times where Clarence Hill is trying to take a cheap shot at the front office. He's trying to stick it to Jerry Jones. He's trying to paint Jerry as inadequate. And a lot of y'all will probably agree with that. But damn it, if y'all are going to agree with it for the right reasons. Not because something he's doing by paying his player a compliment, by saying that he's glad he made a trade for a guy that's on your team now. That's not him being unfair. That's not him being unjust. That's not Jerry being big bad slave owner, making life hard on a poor black man, which is the way that Clarence Hill likes to paint any and every conversation around Jerry Jones, bro. Go back and look at how he paints discussions. Hell, go look at his timeline, bro. Clarence Hill, you are the perfect example of one of those old head black dudes that will sit there and complain about how the white man is out to get us. Complaining and put all that fear and all that BS into the younger audience's brain. And then you do the same type of stuff, bro. Let me ask you something. Would you be covering Jerry? Would you even say this? It's unfair to Kenny Clark that Jerry Jones painted him as Reggie White and Dominican Sue. Would you be saying that if Jerry was black, bro? Clarence, would you write half of the stories that you write in the way that you write them if Jerry was black? That is a legitimate question I'm asking you, because I think I know the answer. And I think that anybody that's familiar with your work knows the answer. No, you wouldn't be doing that, bruh. And it's sickening to see that, bruh, because as a black man, I hate seeing my people rely on BS and excuses. Because at the end of the day, unless someone is actively trying to prevent you from being successful through a physical means, then all that other stuff don't matter. All that racism, all that stuff don't matter, bruh. It's not real, it's words. It can't do nothing to you, like I said, unless somebody's actively going out their way to prevent you from progressing in life, bruh. So leave all that stupid neo-political BS out of our football conversations. Leave all this fair, unfair, injustice, justice. Leave all that shit out of our football conversations. Especially when you want to try to bring up how it's unfair that the owner complimented a player that he traded for. But you were the same guy that literally tried to drag Jerry all summer long for talking about how Micah missed games due to injury, for bringing up a fact about a player. So that wasn't necessarily positive. But when Jerry do say something positive, you still gonna turn it negative? Man, shut your bitch ass up, Clarence. I'm tired of this, bro. I do not like that BS. I do not like the BS. Cover everything the same. Keep all of your political agendas out of your Cowboys coverage. We don't want to see it. We don't care. We don't want to hear it, bro. I'm dead ass. We are tired of that shit, bro. We are tired of that. We are tired of our own media trying any and everything they can to twist and turn everything negative. Everything that our media does is literally only to evoke 2 emotions out of Cowboys fans: anger or fear. That is the only thing our media does, is try to evoke anger or fear. And it's old, bruh. It's old. Instead of coming up with goofy shit like this, how about y'all come up with better questions, bro? How about somebody ask Jerry them, hey, have y'all actually picked up the phone to try to call out and reach out to these teams, or y'all still just waiting on them to reach out to you? How about y'all ask questions, the hundreds of questions out there that are still left to be asked that none of the media members have asked because they're too busy trying to peddle their own narratives, bro. This is... Be very careful where y'all get y'all Cowboys coverage. I'm going to leave it at that. The next thing I wanted to discuss, man, is Jerry Jones said the Cowboys are open for business regarding the trade deadline. He said, quote, yours truly and anybody associated with the Cowboys got our eyes really open in ways that we can help this defense. And we certainly don't want to preclude anything on offense either. That may mean a running back. So what that let me know is running back isn't completely off the board as it pertains to them going to get some help. Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, I'm looking at you. The defensive side of the ball, I really hope that they go and trade for a guy, because there are some decent guys available. We got Cameron Jordan. We got Bradley Chubb. We got Trey Hendrickson. Those are 3 edge rushers. We got cornerback Tariq Woolen. That's a corner, a position we really really desperately need. We got Mark Andrews, a tight end, probably not going to do that. Chris Olave, a wide receiver, probably not going to do that. But then we got Breece Hall and Alvin Kamara as trade candidates who could be available per Adam Schefter. This was as recent as October 11th, right? This list was made October 11th. So there are some decent guys available out there. Do you want to look at some guys like a Devin Bush, the linebacker for the Cleveland Browns? There's a couple of guys out there. I would definitely be looking at that linebacker position, and I would be looking at the safeties or the secondary. If I could get any secondary position, whether it's a safety or a corner, and I can get a linebacker, then I feel really, really good about what I was able to accomplish. I don't think our edge rushers are as big of a need as linebacker and corner is. I really don't. Now, with that being said, if Trey Hendrickson becomes available, you got to go get him because he could possibly help your corners and your safeties by shrinking that quarterback clock a little bit for opposing teams. But those would be some of the trades that I would definitely want the Cowboys to go after. And something that they could honestly use as part of these trade negotiations is, man, Mozzie Smith was inactive again against the Carolina Panthers. I think they're out on Mozzie. It's time to let the Mozzie thing go. Get rid of him for whatever you can. Please get rid of him for whatever you can. Throw him into a deal to make it a little bit sweeter for us and just get that headache off of our roster because at this point, it's getting old. And I'm going to be honest, bro. It's time to let that mess go. It really is. It's time to let that mess go. I just really don't appreciate how the fan base turns upside down on his head and starts to reach and pull for the goofiest things to talk about and discuss, whether it's trading George Pickens or trying to, yet again, find ways to be angry at Jerry Jones. Bro, sometimes this is about the coaches and the players, bro. I'm going to be honest with y'all. This ain't Jerry to me because what I do know is this summer, this offseason, our coaching staff had just as much, probably way more of a say in making this roster than Jerry them did. Real talk. And we could go back, watch my video. We covered this all summer long when Shai himself came out and told us several times he was responsible for making the final call on getting a lot of these guys in here. So at some point, we got to start looking at the coaches and the players to perform better and stop looking for reasons to carry around this politically charged ass torch against the front office and Jerry Jones, bro. Because quite frankly, a lot of it is based off of stuff like this, what Clarence Hill got going on. A lot of it is based off of people just not liking Jerry personally or not liking what he represents or not liking what his political stance may be. A lot of it is based on that, bro. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. And we need to get that shit out the community because quite frankly, it has nothing to do with talking football. And all that crying wolf and woe is us. We're black men and the white man is out there. Man, shut your bitch ass up, bro. I done grew up in the South my whole life. Grew up in Louisiana and in Texas and in Arkansas. And I'm going to tell you something. I know what real racism looks like. I'm going to tell you something else. It means nothing. It's nothing you can't defeat. It's nothing that honestly should carry too much weight in your life as long as you have a strong mental, bro. Grow up. Get off the BS. Let's get back to talking football. Stop trying to trade our best players for the interest of having team-building discussions because that shit's stupid, too. Zach Walchuk responded to me as pertains to that. About to show y'all that response real quick. Zach Walchuk responded to me as pertains to the team-building conversation and about the George Pickens trade. Y'all are wondering, where did that even come from, right? He said, what makes it a valid question? I said, fans give a lot of dumbass ideas to me on a regular basis that I don't even breathe life into because it's not a realistic option. Validating these types of questions is why our fan base spends so much time worrying about and discussing the wrong stuff. Zach Walchuk said, what makes it a valid question is if the organization feels they don't want to throw that amount of money at one position and do not intend to keeping the player, wouldn't it be smart to try to trade him at the highest value? A team-building discussion. Then I said, what makes it invalid is nothing about the organization or that deal has given you any indication they don't want to bring him back. That's why it's a ridiculous discussion to be having. It's legit speculation based off of absolutely nothing. Then he said sports talk is literally speculation, my guy. Sports talk isn't just speculation. I've shown y'all for the last 3 years that sports talk don't have to be just based off of. You only talk about stuff that real life has shown you can actually happen. That's what you talk. You don't talk about the most fantastical stuff. That's like saying, oh, my team is 0-16, but we're going to talk about going to the Super Bowl this year. What the hell? No, you talk about stuff that has reason to be discussed. Otherwise, we're just listening to mofos make shit up on the radio. What are you talking about? There's plenty of stuff to talk about that you can pull from empirical data to discuss. We are not wanting to just listen to y'all make up nonsensical conversations and make the rest of the fan base believe that those conversations make sense. Because they don't. In fact, here's Jerry talking about the George Pickens thing right here, bruh. Shout out to John Machota.
I don't want to sit here and, as you know, that even has a competition to it in its very aspect of it. He is doing more than we could have, than we did expect, or that we could have expected. And what's really special is he's a real plus to have around the team. He's a real plus around his teammates. He's a great plus around those coaches.
Note that. Note that. Note that.
And those coaches really think highly of him. And so he's not only doing it on the field, he's doing it as a part of the team concept. That's very important, and in his particular case should be noted.
Message. I'm not even going to tell y'all what to think right there. I want to know down in the comments below. What are y'all gathering from what he's talking about? Is he throwing any shots at another situation? What is he talking about right here? Y'all let me know in the comments.
We'll weigh that. We knew full well that if things really went like we want them to go, that certainly we need to think about having some room available if we're going to pay a second receiver at that level.
We need to think about having some room available. Guess what that means? Micah, there's a big reason that contract got up off the Cowboys, y'all. Think about this. If you use the draft picks, you draft all defense, you got 4 years of cheap guys, essentially. Guys that fit pretty well within the cap, pretty comfortably. If you use some of those picks, trade for guys. There's other people you should get up off of in the midst of those trades that'll open up space regardless. But regardless, man, we have the second most cap in the league right now. Guess who has enough money to pay a George Pickens now? Within reason. Especially with the way he's playing, especially with how Dak looks with him, even without CD. But definitely when they both get back and they all clicking at once. Guess who's going to be here? And guess what side of the ball is going to have to ball out with young guys, veterans, and they're going to have to make some moves. Coaching. The defense. That's what's going to happen. Guess who's going to be a casualty this offseason? Trevon Diggs, Donovan Wilson. Each of those guys taking up $9, $10, $12, $15 million on the cap. Boom. GP ain't going nowhere. Y'all heard what he just said. There's a reason he emphasized how great he is with the coaches. You think Jerry is saying all that stuff to run up his price for other teams? For himself against other teams? No. Now, one thing that he did discuss that I know a lot of people did not want to hear.
That's an understandable and pretty easy way to say different is how about a little more man? Well, how about a little more man? I bet you see a little more man. And on the man, you obviously know you give up some things on man. That's why they play zone, is because of that. But I think you will see adjustments.
Right.
When we have adjustments, they have been successful, but it calls for adjustments. The good news is that Flus has had a lot of experience. He's had some good days. He's had some bad days. That's what we're getting here. We're getting a young coach with a lot of future that also has been through, had a lot of experience, including head coach in the NFL. I have a lot of confidence in him.
There it is. I have a lot of confidence in him. Matt Eberflus ain't going nowhere, y'all. Buckle up for a rocky ride. We just got to hope as Cowboys fans it improves to some degree at some point throughout the season, y'all. I ain't going to sit here and a lot of y'all smoke up y'all butts, though. Be quiet, Jerry. I ain't going to push no smoke up y'all butts, man. I don't know how this defense improves unless guys just start playing better. Based off of what I'm seeing on tape, I don't know how the defense improves unless guys just start playing better. And are these guys capable of doing that? I guess that's what we're going to see. But, yeah, good news, bad news. Told y'all in the title. I will see y'all on the next one. I had to get this rant off. I had to get it off. I've been seeing a lot of stupid stuff. I will likely be streaming. And it's going to be one of those ones, y'all. I'm letting y'all know. How them Cowboys.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.